Many of you are wondering how President Biden's new budget proposal will benefit Americans. Well, in today's video, I'll be going over the exact details of President Biden's infrastructure and budget plan. I'll also be discussing how soon we can expect to see Congress pass another bill. So everybody, just be sure to stay until the end of this video. Folks, if you support a fourth stimulus check, then let's get this video to 1,000 likes. On this channel, everybody, I always do my best in providing you with the most up-to-date and reliable stimulus check news. I want to see every member of my community receive another stimulus payment.
2020 when? So that was more than a month ago. If this passes and you sold stocks or a business or property after April 28th of this year, you could owe back taxes. Biden proposing to nearly double the capital gains rate from 23.8% to 43.4% for income over $1 million. Treasury also giving its first revenue projections for that capital gains increase and the elimination of the step up in basis, saying the two combined would generate about $320 billion in revenue.
So a group of Senate Republicans have unveiled a $928 billion infrastructure proposal. And that's to counter President Biden's new plan for a nearly $2 trillion bill. Now this proposal, everybody, outlines a significant increase from the most recent Republican plan to spend about $568 billion total. Now this new version includes additional money for roads and bridges, but the majority of the proposed spending is part of an existing baseline plan for investments.
But it was something that I know he was very intentional about in terms of asking me to run with him and to serve with him, which is that I will bring a perspective that will contribute to the overall decisions that we make. He and I are in almost every meeting together. Have made almost every decision together. I'm not going to talk about our private conversations, of course, but I can tell you that it is often the case that as I will ask his opinion about things, he will ask my opinion.
In a statement, White House officials called the Republican counteroffer encouraging, but said they were concerned about the proposal to use relief funding to pay for the plan, and that some concerns remained about funding proposals for VA hospitals, railways, and transit. Still, the U.S. Labor Department reported Thursday that the U.S. jobs market edged closer to its pre-crisis level last week, as initial jobless claims totaled just 406,000 for the week ending in May 22nd. And while the level is still well above the pre-crisis norm, it is the closest to the previous trend since the crisis began back in March of 2020. And also, everybody, I want you to know that millions of unemployed Americans across the country will lose jobless benefits in June and July, as at least 24 Republican-led states move to end federal unemployment assistance before the current September 6th deadline. The benefits that will end early may include not only the extra $300 per week, but also the programs for gig workers and others who do not normally qualify for aid. Benefits in Iowa, Mississippi, and Missouri will expire on June 12th. Then benefits in Indiana and New Hampshire will expire on June 19th, and then on June 26th, states like Florida and Georgia and Texas will cancel the $300 per week supplement.
The problem is they're way off in terms of the numbers. Republican senators want a $928 billion infrastructure plan. Biden has proposed $1.7 trillion. You look at those numbers and you say, okay, they're not too far apart, except the Republican plan only includes about $250 billion in new spending. A lot of their numbers are repurposed other spending. So the gap here is like $1.4 trillion overall. Sticking points are huge, including the corporate tax rate, green energy, even the definition of infrastructure itself has been contentious in this negotiation. So the administration is saying, look, we're going to work with you for another week or so.
A worker in Iowa, for example, will lose out on almost $4,000 in enhanced benefits, and possibly more if he or she is a gig worker. Some of the states ending benefits early are offering financial incentives for a limited number of people who find work, and this includes states like Arizona, Montana, and New Hampshire. Currently, all programs are set to last through September 6, 2021 as part of the American Rescue Plan and are funded by the federal government, but many Republican governors say that the enhanced benefits are keeping people from going back to work. And according to the economic research team at JPMorgan Chase, the move to cut federal unemployment benefits seems tied to politics, not economics. The benefits are likely causing some people to stay at home, but overall are not a major factor in the unemployment rate. Researchers throughout the crisis also found that major changes in PUC, first from selection of dollars to $300, and then from $0 to $300 in January, had little impact either way on job finding rates. And according to the Treasury Department, everybody, the American Rescue Plan provides nearly $10 billion for states, territories, and tribes to provide relief for our country's most vulnerable homeowners. For homeowners to qualify, they must have a mortgage balance of less than $548,000. And those who do should reach out to the state's housing agency for more information and receive a portion of the fund. Another benefit of the American Rescue Plan is the State and Local Fiscal Recovery Fund. This refers to a pot of money given to states, counties, and cities for distribution to local households that have experienced economic hardship during the crisis. The Treasury Department also added that local governments will receive funds in 2 tranches, with 50% being provided in May 2021 and the balance delivered approximately 12 months later. Now everybody, we have a lot of news to cover in today's video. The White House is giving Republican lawmakers in Congress just 1 week to reach a deal on infrastructure.
Hello, and thank you for inviting me to join you today. I'm sure sorry that we couldn't do this in person, but I am grateful for this chance to pass along this message. I want to start with a big thank you to the Freedom from Facebook and Google Coalition for bringing us together today. You all do powerfully important work to drive bold, progressive change forward, and I am grateful down to my toes for all that you do. I also want to give a special shout out to my colleague, Congressman Mondaire Jones. Go, Mondaire. Congressman Jones is off to a running start in Congress, and I am thrilled that he's here with us today. 30 years ago, Facebook, Google, and Amazon did not exist. Now they are among the most valuable and best known companies in the entire world. Now, it's a great story, but it is also a story about the dangers of monopolies and anti-competitive actions. Today's big tech companies have grown so giant and so powerful that they threaten our economy, our society, and our very democracy. They have bulldozed competition, used private information for profit, and tilted the playing field against everyone else. In the process, they have stifled small businesses and innovation, and they have threatened our democratic processes. We must hold these big tech companies accountable and break them up so that there's real competition and so that our democracy is not held hostage to their desire to make more and more money. We need to make sure that the next generation of great American tech companies has a chance to grow and flourish. And to do that, we need government regulations that make sure that everybody, even the biggest and most